Amber.
Hi.
How
Hi,
are
can you hear
you?
me?
I can perfectly.
Oh,
You hear me
awesome.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good. Hey, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So Celeste told me that you are interested in buying a house sometime soon. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's what we're talking about today, I guess.
Yeah, I got your email. Sorry, it's been so busy, but yeah, I was told her that it's probably still gonna be like a month or two before.
Mhm.
I'm actually waiting on my taxes. Not
Oh,
that I need the money, but the year prior in 2019, I was an independent contractor. So I had a bunch of 1099s and I would do festival management for like Coachella and stuff like that, like EDC, those. So there are a lot of, even though we have like the main big ones we worked for a lot of little different ones too.
sure.
So when I left SoCal and moved over here,
Mhm.
my address changed and it was hard to get a lot of the people we worked with. So I was missing a lot of 1099s. And then COVID happened
Yeah,
and some of them were open. I couldn't get a hold of my contact there. So we filed like super late for those.
sure.
And we've just been waiting since last year for those to go through. But my tax guy told me it was going to be a minute because this year already went through for me because I was on that one.
Mhm.
But just waiting for prior year because I know you need a couple years of tax records. So
Yeah, yeah. Generally, the lenders do need that. So
mhm.
yeah, good thing you're on top of that. Um,
Trying a little late to the party.
so you're from Southern California. When did you move here?
I moved here at the end of 2019.
Okay, well, welcome to the Valley.
Thank you. Well, I've lived here before,
Oh,
so but
okay.
yeah, it's been like 20 years, so I'm back.
Welcome back then.
Thank you.
Um, all right, well, tell me just a little bit about your plans, what you're wanting to accomplish, and yeah, I know your time frame starting like a month or two. That's fine, but just tell me about what you want and where you're at with the whole process.
Well, I'm really looking for like at least a 3-bedroom house,
Okay,
2 bath. Anything more would be a plus. I
sure.
don't know my price range because I'm making less, but I know the cost of living here is less. So I'm
Hmm.
making less than so I'm not really sure what I'd qualify. I've been doing like my own research, and I
Okay.
think with what I have and what I qualify is looking around like 350 to 410 or something. That's kind of the range I'm thinking of. Anything I'm not really too picky, so I'm thinking of that's the range. I'm just looking in parts of Clovis and then also the North Fresno area. Work in Madera, so I was considering the central, right there by the 99 and Herndon, because it would be
Hmm.
so much faster. And I live in Clovis now, so it takes me a minute to get to Madera and come back.
Sure. Okay.
But the work from home some days helps. So that's what I'm kind of open. I'm even looking at parts of Madera, like the Madera Ranchos, but I don't know if I'll qualify because I did when I sold my house out there, I did have a lot of equity and it sold for quite a bit, but I did pay stuff off and let my mom have some money and stuff like that. So I don't know if like I said, I'm not sure based on what I make now, how much I would qualify for, but based on my own research, the whole 36% of your income or your monthly gross income,
Mhm.
I've calculated about that much.
Okay. Well, you've done a lot of research then. Good
I
for you.
have. I've been looking. I've
You
been
came
anxious. I
prepared.
just
Yeah.
once my taxes come through, like I'm gonna get a couple. I want to get a couple of pre-qualifications, and then once I'm set, then get the pre-approval from the one I want because I really want to be able to just to get it done once I'm able to. I'm
Okay.
tired. I downsized a lot.
Mhm.
My house is pretty big in SoCal, and when we moved here, we got a little duplex, so we wouldn't spend so much money.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm needing my space back.
So do you own the duplex that you're in?
No,
No.
no, no.
Renting?
I was just renting this one.
Okay. And so then since you're renting, are you month to month or are you on a lease that we'll have to take into consideration?
No, no lease. Our lease expired, and he hasn't asked for renewal, and I haven't been asking either. So
Don't mention it.
yeah, I'm not saying anything. I actually think he wants to sell it because he's taking some trees out. He's painting. He's fixing things up, which I'm trying to convince my fiance, hey, like maybe we should invest in a duplex because before all COVID happened, he was working, but the whole festival thing, but that industry shut down. Everything shut down. So I had talked to a lender, I guess, and is one that helped me with my house, and he was telling me that I could have done like a dual occupancy, FHA dual occupancy for like, so I was thinking maybe I can do that too, even though like we'd be like probably have to be here for another year, it'd probably drive us
Mhm.
crazy, but I mean, it'd be good to invest in it too. So that's something if it pops up, but more so I really want to get out of here and get a house.
Okay, all right. Yeah, why don't we focus on getting what you want, and then you can always start investing in investment properties and get some, if you ever wanted a rental, that type of thing, that can always come
Yeah.
later. It's not the
Yeah, of
best
course.
time for investment properties right now with
I
prices.
know, not right now. I know, but I know
Oh,
the guy who lives here. I'm like, we would have to stay here for a year, who knows what,
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I'll want to revisit location a little bit with you, but I think that
Okay.
that can come later when we're actually looking at homes because there probably are some areas maybe a little bit further west or even some new developments that you may not be aware of in Madera. There's the Riverstone new housing area,
Yes.
and then Tesoro Viejo. So there are some other areas that I'd like to present to you, but let's kind of table that for now. I
Okay.
think I have a general idea of what you're looking for there.
Okay.
Let's talk about features. What would you like to have in the house? Style, size, I mean, size-wise, I know rooms, but like two-story versus single-story, pool, no pool. What do you want?
Well, pool would be nice
Okay.
because it's a lot hotter here than it was over there.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't care on the one story, two story, but I know my fiance really wants two story because that's what we used to have. And
Okay.
he just felt like safer knowing we're all sleeping upstairs. And I mean,
Right.
he's just a pretty guy. So, I mean, that's what he does for a living. He assesses threat and stuff. So he's like, I want to be like upstairs. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I'm also we're not opposed to a one story, but
Okay.
two story would be preferable.
Okay.
I know there's a lot more older houses here,
Mhm.
which is cute. Like I like them, and they look cute, like the one stories. I know there's not the two stories are probably the newer homes.
Yeah, there's a few single story newer homes as well. And I would say that in the areas that you're interested in looking, you are probably not going to see much of anything older than the 80s. So there we'll see a good mix of single and two story in the areas that
Oh, okay.
you're interested in. So
Yeah.
yeah, just kind of know that. As far as what it looks like on the inside, are you looking for something that it looks like a brand new build and is perfect? HGTV ready, or
Oh,
do
gotcha.
you want something that is a little bit older and you'd like to update it yourself? Tell me what preferences you have on style.
Yeah, well, I'm see, we're kind of flexible in that sense because Sergio also knows how to knock stuff down and build it. So we're not opposed to finding something that's a fixer upper and then kind of making it our own.
Mhm.
Uh, but like I would prefer to have something just move and ready. But like I said, we're willing to work with it. We're not really too picky on stuff. I know he likes like the open floor plan kind of for like the kitchen because we do like well we did like to entertain before so like the island and stuff like that. I know that's something he wants but there's nothing um I did see some new houses with uh like the master downstairs or the rooms upstairs or vice versa, the master upstairs and I kind of because my kids are little, I don't
Mhm.
want their rooms to be on the same level the master's on. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I noticed because I did see some new homes. I'm like, oh, these are cute, but I didn't like that feature. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't sleep comfortably upstairs knowing my two little ones are downstairs,
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
hard.
that.
How old are your
Um,
kids?
I have my son's 5 and my daughter's 2,
Oh,
so
little
they're
one.
little. Yeah, they're little. So yeah, but inside wise, like I said, we're pretty flexible on it.
Okay.
Um, I don't like houses that kind of feel closed in, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
For what I like kind of like the more like open airy kind of feel to them.
Okay. Is there anything feature wise, style wise, size wise that would be a deal breaker for you? Like that, and under no circumstances would you ever want me to present you with a listing that has a comp roof versus a tile roof, or
Oh, deal
uh,
breakers. I should have brought
something,
Sergio in here.
something along
Maybe I
those.
should bring him in here. Hold on, let me text him, tell because he's kind of, I want to say he's pickier than I am.
Mhm.
I'm so much more like whatever, I don't really care, but he has his own little, let me see. Come here. Come over here, please. I'll ask him because he'll give you more ideas. Um, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to that stuff. I'm like, whatever, it works, it's functional. Um, but there's deal breakers. You know what? I don't like the super small backyards either. I had a new house out there and I felt like all the neighbors could look in, because of their big 2-story homes. I felt like they'd watch me when I'd be in the back. So I kind of want like something private in the back.
Okay.
So all the little new houses with the little tiny, oh, Sergio, come here. This is Erica.
Hello, how you doing?
Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
She's asking if there's any deal breakers when we're looking for a house, if there's anything that you would like, wouldn't want to even see or consider.
Like, wouldn't even consider, like, if I presented you with your perfect dream home, but it had one thing wrong with it that was a deal breaker, would you prefer me just not even to show it to you?
I think it's the backyard needs to be
Oh, yeah.
nice and big.
Oh, you want to be, so you want
A
to,
decent size. We don't want a small because, like she was saying, inside of California, the houses, the backyard's really small.
well,
so,
the newer house is.
Yeah.
Ours wasn't that small, but we just
Yeah.
want a place for the kids to
right
be in the
around.
back and play.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, then I will definitely focus on larger lots for you guys when I'm looking for homes to show you. And this is the fun part, kind of designing what your dream home would be. And then we get to do the shopping part. We'll talk about more of the business end and what the market is like in just a minute. Because there's some important things that I want you to know about before we get started for sure. So before we go there, though, is there anything more about what you're looking for in the house, neighborhood, busy street versus, neighborhood? Do you want to have a neighborhood park, HOAs, no HOAs, anything like that I need to know about?
I'm not big on HOAs, even though I like Celeste's neighborhood. That's really cute. But I'm not big on HOAs because in my head, I'm pretty practical. I'm like, man, I could use those $200 a month to go do X amount. If it's a small HOA fee, then I'm okay. I'll consider it. But I also know that, I don't know. I guess I had an aunt that lived in one and she hated it. So I probably tainted my view of them.
Some of them can definitely be difficult. That's for sure. And it really just depends on what you're getting for your money. Like, there's definitely some neighborhoods out there where the HOA will actually cover your water, sewer, and garbage bill. So, if it's covering something like that, I tend to see more value in it than one where it's just because there happens to be a grassy area right over there and they need to pay somebody to mow that lawn. That's like,
Yeah.
really?
True that. Yeah, that's true.
But I actually live here in Quail Lake as well.
Oh, you do? It's cute.
Yeah. So I can definitely attest that the money that we pay for our HOA, we get our money's worth because it's an amazing neighborhood. So worth every penny. But yeah, I'll definitely focus on no, or at the minimum, a small HOA and stay away from the larger ones. That said, if any homes in this Quail Lake neighborhood came up that might suit you, would you be interested in this type of a neighborhood or no?
Yeah, I would consider it. I would definitely consider. You guys have like your own little community thing going on. It's pretty cute. So I would definitely consider that.
Okay, great. Well, okay, I think I have a pretty decent idea of what it is you're looking for, and it sounds like it's pretty open, which makes it super easy for me.
Yeah, it's pretty open. There's no, we're, like I said, Sergio knows how to knock things down, rebuild, put walls, take the walls out. So even if it's a fixer upper, we're okay with.
Great, perfect. So let me kind of chat with you a little bit about what you can expect in the current market conditions, and just in what we have available as far as inventory is concerned. We're in an extreme version of a seller's market. I mean, it's like over the top extreme seller's market right now. So what that means in layman's terms is that sellers hold all the cards because there are so few homes for sale that all of the buyers are competing for that same small set of homes that are for sale. So just to kind of give you an example of what that looks like, an average $350,000 home that goes on the market right now is typically getting between 10 and 20 offers in the first 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And people are offering up to, I mean, it can be even higher, but on average, $15,000 to $20,000 over the list price. So list price, what you see on Zillow or on the app that I'm going to share with you, anything like that, think of it as a starting point suggestion.
Gotcha.
So what that really boils down to for you as a buyer is that I'm generally having my buyers look considerably below what their comfort level is so that we have room to bid up that's still within your budget.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately. What it also means for you is that because homes are going for so significantly over what they're listed for, we have some appraisal issues. So, when you buy a home, an appraiser has to
Yes.
come out and assess the value, and that's what your lender will base your loan on, is that amount.
Yeah.
So buyers who are successful in getting their offers accepted right now are committing cash in the deal to cover an appraisal deficiency. So what that means is if you offer 350 on a home, your offer is accepted at 350, but the appraisal comes in at 340, you're saying, I'm going to cover that $10,000 difference between what the appraisal came in at and what I'm committed to buying it for. That $10,000 has to come in cash. It can't be part of the loan. So
Gotcha.
those are the types of things that are happening right now. And I hate
Mm.
having these conversations with people because it's, but, but it's the
No,
reality. And
I bought my last house in 2012, and I remember it was really similar. I'd go 30, 40, even 50 over asking sometimes. And it was just funny. And the one I ended up getting was one that I was like, oh, this one's going to go for way more. I'm just going to put asking, and then my realtor lowered her commission because we kept putting in offers. And since it was a HUD foreclosure, they just picked our name out, and I got it for asking. So I got lucky on that one. But I remember that time it was frustrating because you'd get excited about a house, and then you'd be like, oh, well, we're going to put 20 grand over. And it was, yeah. So I remember.
Okay,
Been
so
there.
you kind of have an idea of what we're going to be entering into, the battle zone that's out there in the real estate market.
Yeah.
Unfortunately and fortunately, we don't have a lot of foreclosure activity right now. So on one hand, that makes it nice because, the homes that are out there are being sold by owners, which means they're generally kept up a little bit better. You're not going to find a lot of, real rundown junkers out there.
Yeah.
Most of the homes are in pretty good condition. On the other hand, we probably won't have that same scenario where a HUD pops up that you get to just, put your name in the ring and they pick one out randomly. That's probably not going to be the case now.
Mhm.
And sellers are getting real big egos right now on what they can get for houses. So it
Yeah.
does get
I've
pretty
seen some, and I'm like, whoa, that's too much.
yeah. And there's a lot of for sale by owners that you'll see on Zillow and other sources, and they are out of their mind what they think they can get for those houses. And so generally it's a real long shot if we can get, or even get our foot in the door for a reasonable price on those for sale by owners. So I just kind of like to set those expectations up front to make sure that we don't have too many broken heart scenarios come up. Unfortunately, it probably will be multiple bids before we get the one that is for you. So
Yeah.
I'll be there the whole time to help you manage the emotional piece of it and be your
Thank you.
soundboard and your counselor to let you vent when you're mad.
Yeah.
That's my role. So yeah, we'll get out there as soon as you're pre-approved and start searching, but in that slightly higher price point over what FHA is right now, then I think you're going to be in a better position to have a quicker shot at getting your offers accepted.
Okay.
Anything over about
Yeah.
375 right now is out of FHA range, so that reduces the buyer pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's helpful in a lot of ways
Oh,
that, you're competing against fewer people.
got it.
Then on that point, with regards to the lending, I definitely have a couple of amazing lenders that I could refer you to when you are ready to do that. And my suggestion would be to start talking to them sooner than later, because you can always then give them your tax returns when that gets
They come
complete.
in. Can you get a pre-qualification? Like, what do they need for it? They don't need everything. Pre-approval is the one they need everything for, right? So
Yeah,
usually,
they're going to want as much as possible, but if you can provide them with your 2020 tax returns and you just need to show them your 2019, they probably can give you a good idea of what you're going to be able to go for, because,
okay.
excuse me, more so they're going to be looking at debt ratio and current income. And
Okay.
are they going to be the three big ones? The past income taxes is going to be an underwriter requirement generally, where they need to see it to just corroborate that you have had steady income. Is
Okay.
what
Okay. Okay.
that comes down to. So
Yeah.
if you can provide the basics now, you can get a better idea of what price range you're going to be comfortable with, and you'll be able to get an idea of what payments will be at the current rates to give
Yeah.
you an idea of, even if you qualify for higher, maybe you still want to stick within a certain range because you're looking for a certain payment. A lot of people are payment sensitive.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I always joke, like, I want to move back and have a payment under 2,000, because back then it was like, like 2,500, so you're just, I'm trying to, my head is still like, keep it under 2. And it's just right now because Sergio's, his industry's out. But I know once we come back, I mean, it'll be a whole different story.
yeah.
But yeah. Do you know what the interest rates are right now? Do you have an idea?
3, and I can't give you a specific one because it's real dependent on credit score
Credit
and the
score.
type of loan you get.
Mhm.
But for credit scores in the mid to high 700s with good debt ratios and just a very no buying, buying down the rate with points or anything like that. The last I saw, they were hovering between 2.75 to like 3.15, somewhere
Okay.
in there. We saw a slight tick up. They were in the mid 2s. So we saw a slight tick up to around
Yeah.
3, and experts are saying probably to expect a couple more little ticks up. But
Okay.
everybody I follow, economy wise, isn't projecting large increases throughout the rest of this year because the
Mhm.
economy still needs to stabilize with all of the stimulus that's happening in the government and all of that. So I think
Okay.
the feds and everyone are going to be waiting to kind of see what happens with regards to that before making any major changes. And if you bought in 2012, I mean, rates were low then, but if you've bought, at any time before that or followed rates at all, I mean, I bought my first home in 04 and I had like a 7% rate. So in my opinion, anything under 5 is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
So,
Yeah.
just keep in mind that even though we might see little increases here and there, we are still in historically low rate territory for a long time to come.
Gotcha. My credit score last month was like 780.
Yeah, you're going to be
So
down there in
I
the
should
best
get a
rate.
decent rate, right? And I'm trying to go conventional, but I'm not, because I have enough to put down for a conventional, I think. But I do want to see my options. If you have some lenders, that'd be great. But I know that my boss uses one that, like, since we work for the county, like the government ones, they do like special rates. So I just kind of want to, like, when I first bought in 2012, I didn't really do a lot of research. I just kind of went with the first one. So this time I'm trying to be better.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely check out the one that's recommended to you. I will forward you at least my one top lender who's my VIP, and she's phenomenal. And I have never
Awesome.
had another lender beat her rates in the entire
Okay.
time I've been in this business. She's great. And
Great.
one thing to keep in mind when you're shopping rates and banks and brokers is it's going to be in your best interest to stick with a local loan broker over a
Mhm.
large bank or credit union
Mhm.
because they're more flexible, they're more responsive, they do tend to offer better terms. But the biggest reason is that when you have to submit a pre-approval letter with your offer these days, your offer will not even be accepted by a listing agent without a pre-approval letter with it.
Mhm.
But the letters from the reputable local lenders and brokers are taken more seriously by sellers than ones that come from like Quicken Loans or B of A or a credit
Oh
union or
yeah, I
something like
know.
that, because
I
they
forget
can
which, it's
close
like Kelsey.
quicker with fewer problems and they're more responsive to managing it properly throughout the process. So
Gotcha.
just keep that in mind, that definitely check with whoever it is that you have your mind on. But I would encourage you to also get a cross approval from the lender that I recommend, because
Okay.
at a minimum, then we at least have that in our pocket if it comes down to we're losing offers due to the lending that you have in place.
Yeah, they
So
don't recognize it, or they,
yeah,
yeah, I get it.
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like some of the national lenders, they don't answer the phone when we call.
Yeah.
They just take forever to do things. And in this type of market, we've got to have every edge in our tool belt that we possibly can. So the lender that you
Yeah.
choose is huge. So I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do a bank. I'm not big
But
on getting
yeah,
banks, but
okay,
yeah.
perfect,
Yeah.
good. I think I've covered market conditions and giving you a good idea what to expect. We'll definitely work on getting you pre-approved. Tell me what questions you have about the buying process.
Um, well, you kind of answered them, because I knew that the inventory was low, and that people were probably like overbidding, and again, they're getting a lot of offers. do you, I know it's probably hard to say, but like, do you know like the time span it takes to like find one, I guess? Like, is it taking like months? Is it taking weeks?
It really is going to depend on how aggressive you're willing to get with
Okay.
how the offers that you're writing. We could. One of the things that I always do for my buyers is I always have a pretty in-depth conversation with the listing agent on the home that I'm writing an offer up on, because I like to write the offer specifically to the seller's needs. So, some agents just assume that everybody wants to have a super quick close. So they'll just write the offer for a 21-day escrow because their lender can do that. We'll come to find out the seller actually needs 45 days because the place that they're moving into isn't going to be ready for 45. So
Yes.
I do that. I have that conversation. I get down and dirty with the details, and I help you not only with the price recommendations, but with the terms, which can be just as important as the price a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So by doing that, paired with a buyer who's understanding and willing to work with the aggressiveness that's needed in this market, you'll have a lot better chance of getting an offer accepted quickly than somebody who is not doing those things. So, I mean, I could tell you we could hit it out of the park on the first try, or it could
Mhm.
take 2 months. It just really depends on one, how quickly we find the house that's going to work for you, and
Yeah.
how aggressively we write the offers to make sure that it ends up being you who wins the bid. Um,
Gotcha.
it really varies completely. I wish I could give you a better idea. I was talking with some of my colleagues the other day, and we're both like, I've been in this business for so long, I cannot get a grasp on this market right now. It's like I don't even know how to answer people's questions. Like 2 years ago, I could rattle these things off like that, and now it's like,
Yeah. You have to think
I
about it.
don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you, and definitely reassure you on, is that I do everything possible to get offers accepted. You're not going to be just sort of left in the cold. I pride myself on writing the strongest, most desirable offer possible with what I have to work with. So you will
Awesome.
definitely be getting that from me, 100%.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I'll have the lender reach out to the listing agent and reassure them that the pre-approval letter is solid. I send a video, email when I present the offers to make sure they
How
know
do
who
you?
I am. I do it all the bells and whistles.
Awesome. So then,
Um,
is it easier to get into the new homes that you were talking about?
yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because you're not necessarily competing on price. You're not bidding on price. It's just
Yeah.
whatever the builder is offering is the price that you get. But on the other hand, they have wait lists to even get a lot. And then there's
Gotcha.
construction time on top of that.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing from a lot of builders is anywhere from a 2 to 4 month wait list to get a lot, and then 6 months of construction time on top of that, which could push you out to almost a year from now
Oh,
moving in.
wow.
So just know that there is that challenge as well. The builders are not keeping up with demand because of how little inventory we have out there for existing homes. All the builders are getting slammed with people wanting to buy homes because we have tons of buyers coming out of the woodwork, and nobody wants to sell their houses right now.
Yeah.
Um, that makes it tough. But new build is definitely an option, and there are some beautiful new homes out there being built. So we can
Yeah.
definitely explore that as well. One thing I'll mention right now is that if you, and I encourage you to have representation on your own, even with a new build, because the sales agents that are in the construction, the model home offices, they are, they're sellers agents. So they are actually the builders' real estate agents. And
Yeah.
they don't tell you that. They make it think like they're just there to do the paperwork, but they actually have the fiduciary responsibility to the builder. So I
Mm,
encourage you to also consider having your own agent for a new build. And the only
yeah.
way to do that, because otherwise they'll lock you out, is to take an agent with you at the first time that you go register with the model homes.
Oh, gotcha.
So otherwise, if you go and you sign in and you give them your name and then you go back, say with me, they won't
Mhm.
let you have your own representation.
Oh, wow.
They will lock you out of the
That's
deal.
sneaky.
I could still answer questions for you, but I won't have access to any of the inside information. I won't be able to call and ask questions on your behalf. I won't be able to manage any of the process for you. So what that means is that I'm happy to take you and go do tours of model homes as well, if it comes
Okay.
down to what I do. So I do that for a lot of people.
And how are like the tours? Not so much I know like I see there's a lot more virtual things online. Like are people actually still going in and doing
Yeah.
tours in person?
Some sellers are doing the video virtual tours available that I could send you. Not
Mhm.
all of them do, and I would probably say maybe about a quarter of the listings have a virtual tour available. But we are doing in-person showings. Open houses, in the sense that most people think of them, where it's literally just the door open and anybody can walk in, those are not happening right now. You'll see open houses advertised, but it's really on an appointment basis only. So they're still
Okay.
giving people's time slots to walk in
Mm,
and only letting one group generally at a time walk through the house. So
that
there
makes
is
sense.
a form, a disclosure that you'll have to sign. It's a COVID disclosure, and it's basically just you saying, I don't have COVID, and I understand that if I get COVID, I'm not going to blame you for walking in this house as the person who gave me COVID, so that type of thing. Some sellers require it for you to actually walk in the home. Some don't care. I generally will get an undated one, just signed from you up front, and then let you know I'm sending it in with each seller that requires it. And then we do just individual home showings. What a tour would look like would be, I would just set up several showings in a row, and we would just go from house to house to house. So,
Oh, gotcha. Just to knock
but,
it all out.
but personal showings of each one, just you and whoever of your family members you wanted to bring, and me, no other people.
Okay.
One house at a time.
Well, I'm not too worried about COVID. Luckily, I got fully vaccinated. My
Oh,
family, on the
that's
other hand,
good.
hasn't. But I'm not too worried about that now, thank goodness. But I'm just anxious. I want to start doing it already, but I'm like, come on, taxes. But that was our own fault. It was really hard to get in touch with people during that time.
Like that, especially in that industry, I could imagine that it just takes.
Yeah, because Live Nation wasn't doing any events, and their Insomniac division, which is what would hire us, was closed. And then like even like the Coachella people, that's AEG Live, but that's their Golden Voice division was closed, and then their reps aren't working. And so your contact was like, well, I'm not working right now, so I don't know. Like, so it took a minute, but and I'm just like, oh, of course that's holding us back now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get it worked out. What a fun job, though. I can't.
It's really fun. I do it part-time. Well, I was doing it full-time for that year.
Okay.
Sergio's one of the full-time guys. So when you go to those festivals, it's the same group, and they can fly all over they have like EDC in Japan and stuff like that. So it's the same group. I was just like backup sometimes. And I do like report writing and stuff like that. So incidents happened. But it was super fun. You get to go backstage, meet celebrities, like you get to roam the entire, we're in charge of all the security, because you hire a bunch of different security, so we're like the ops managers on top. But it's a super fun thing to do.
Very cool. I love music festivals. I can't wait for them to
Do
come.
you? It's fun, but yeah, it's fun, and people like are like, oh, I'm sorry you have to work. No, no, girl, I'm getting paid. And sometimes we're just like undercover, like sometimes I'll help the security ops, and they put me like as undercover roamer, so I just pretend I'm attending and just make sure nobody's passed out or trying to sneak in, and it's just fun.
How
Yeah,
fun.
I can't wait till they come back.
Have you heard about when they're going to come back? Anything?
No, they haven't told us. I know they canceled right before Coachella, and then they told us that it was going to be October, and then they just said sometime next year. And I think they stopped telling us because people were like when. So we'll hear. We're all technically independent contractors, so it's hard. It's hard to know when. They haven't really said when. I guess whenever the restrictions of gathering, and it'd probably be a smaller event. So I don't know when all those are going to come back. Like Stagecoach, like Sergio was set up to work a month at EDC, and then do Coachella, and then do Stagecoach. And then that was gonna be his last time, because he wanted to start working here.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, because it was all SoCal. But yeah, no, he's not gonna.
Okay.
I don't know if he's gonna go back. Maybe just weekends. I was like, we can do it weekends, so we can drive out and do a 3-day festival. I get a lot of vacation at the county, so I was like, I could take off a long weekend and do that once in a while, especially the shows we enjoy seeing.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of
Like,
fun. So what are
Yeah.
you doing now in Madera? What's your job?
I work as Madeira. I'm an analyst, and then I'm the ethnic services manager, so in charge of all the cultural competence. But they're switching my position too because I'm gonna be in charge of the Mental Health Services Act because I work for the Department of Behavioral Health. So my role's transitioning there. I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna be, but as of now, I'm just an analyst there.
Okay, well, that's cute.
Well, yeah, it just feels like I don't it's weird because they give you all these different titles, but your main title is analyst.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My ex-husband works for Fresno County, so I know how all the analysts and all that positions go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you still work for Fresno?
Yeah, he does. He's in the probation department. He's actually a probation services manager, and he um, co-runs the juvenile hall.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah, it's not his favorite assignment. He's had
that
to.
must be a really tiring job.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least now he's, pretty much 8 to 5. He's had other jobs where he was out in the field until like 2 a.m., doing multi-agency. He was on the Magic team, the multi-agency gang enforcement.
Oh,
going
yes, yes, yes,
That for a
yes.
while. He was on the ACT team going out and serving warrants. He did all kinds of crazy stuff. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, but yeah, he's just in an office now.
I like it though. I miss the 8 to 5 because when you work festivals, you'll do like you can work though you can work like 10 days and make what you make in a month, but it was like you're on your feet for like 12 hours and you're just walking around the whole ground. So this being there 8 to 5 and having the weekends free has been kind of nice.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have weekends free, that's for sure.
Oh no, I'm sure you don't. You probably are showing all your houses at that time because everybody working. The good
Yeah,
thing is my job is really flexible, so
awesome.
I can flex if I wanted to. I can uh, take off an hour or 2 hours and then make it up a different day.
Okay.
So that's I can go in earlier. So they're not really strict about having to be 8 to 5. I can go 7 to 4.
Nice.
Say if once we start looking for houses and at 3 o'clock you want me to go, like if I'm
Yeah.
working from home, I probably can. So.
Okay, perfect. I mean, the nice thing, daylight savings is going to start in about a week. So, we'll have daylight hours
Is
in
it?
the evening as
Oh,
well. So yeah,
nice.
I'm not worried about that at this time of year. In the winter, it gets really difficult showing homes after people get off work because it's dark by
Yes,
4:30 sometimes.
that's true.
But
It's
this
depressing.
year, we're going to be in good shape for whenever you're available. I'll tell
Okay.
you a little bit about my availability just because I like to be upfront about that. I
Yeah.
do work from home pretty much full time. My kids are home and I'm homeschooling them. So
Yeah.
Mondays and Tuesdays and half day Wednesdays, I'm generally not available because they're home with me on those days. With my shared custody, they then go to their dad's house for the rest of the week. So I have generally all day Thursdays and Fridays and most of the weekends available. So those are the days I
Gotcha.
typically try to schedule showings.
Yeah.
That said, with the wild market, if something comes up and we need to see it during any other time of the week, I am 100% committed to making that happen. So I
Okay.
want you to be worried about that. But I tend to answer my phone a little less responsibly on Mondays and Tuesdays when I'm
Of course.
math and social studies than any other time.
Of course. That makes sense. We all have a life outside of work,
Well,
so.
yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could send those kids back to school.
Oh. They're not sending you, nobody's going to school right now, or did you just decide to keep them home?
No, they're in a hybrid model right now. So the kids are on campus like 1 or 2 days a week, and then it's still distance learning in the regular school sites. So we started the year doing a true homeschool program and not the distance learning through the regular school. We moved them to an actual homeschool charter.
Gotcha.
And decided to just stick with it through the end of the year because it makes no sense to me to do it.
To switch them out.
Schools are doing it. They're doing well under this model, so I'm like, well, if it's not broke, let's not try to fix it. We'll just stick with this and see how it goes. So only a few more months left, and then I'm done.
I know. It's been rough.
Yeah. All right. So do you have any other questions that I haven't covered?
No. You pretty much gave me an idea, which I already had because I've been peeking.
Yeah.
I try not to look because then it gets me more anxious. Like I just want to hurry up, but I peek sometimes. So I'm like, man, there's not a lot of new houses coming on. It's the same ones.
And they go quick. You'll see one pop up on a Friday and it'll be gone by Monday.
You know what I have been seeing though? People put their house on the market and then take it off. Like, do you know why they do that a lot?
And then put it back on again, you mean? Like off and then
Well,
on?
or maybe they wait for a couple months. I don't know, but I've been seeing like, oh, I like that house. Where'd it go? Then I look at my favorites and it was like off market, you know? And I'm like, oh, I've seen a couple of those.
It
I just
probably
did
sold already.
really?
Mhm. Yeah.
But like if they just went on, it's just weird. It's just like they went on because usually when they sold, it switches color and it tells you the last day of sale, you know, like and how much it sold. But it was just,
Oh, and so you're not seeing that information then?
yeah, I'm not seeing that. So I was just wondering. I've seen a couple. I've only seen a couple, but I was just maybe it's too
Yeah.
scary for them. They didn't expect to get so much offers or something.
I mean, the reasons that I know of that that could happen, although I'm not seeing it happen that often from my end of things, is that they'll go on the market and then they'll have some type of family situation come up where they decide it's not the good time to sell.
Mm.
That was happening a lot last year as people were getting COVID. They would put
Oh,
them off the market or put them
yeah,
on a temporary hold for a while and then relist again in a couple of months. So that
yeah.
may be what you're seeing. I haven't seen a huge influx of that type of activity,
No,
but I would imagine that it probably is health and personal issue related more than anything
gotcha.
else.
Yeah,
Because generally the people who are listing, they're getting multiple offers in the first 2-3 days and
yeah.
accepting an offer within 4 days, and then it's gone. So that's more what I'm seeing than the other.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, it kind of is what it is. We'll deal with
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me kind of recap what we talked about. I have a good idea of what you want and your timeline. We're waiting for taxes. I'm going to refer you to a lender and you'll do your own work on that as well.
Yes.
Location, we're good. I've talked about market conditions with you. My follow-up to you is I'm going to send you an email and introduce you to the lender that I recommend. Her
Okay.
name is Susan Campisi. She's with California Home Loans, and she has an office over near the Fig Garden area is where she
Okay.
is out there. So I'll do an introduction email with both of you on there so that you have access to each other. And then what I'd also like to do, where do you usually search for your homes? What programs do you usually use?
I'll just get on Redfin or Zillow. I just hop back and forth between those.
What I'd like to do, because both of those sites have a lag in accuracy as far as the
Yeah.
size of homes, I'd like to send you a link to an app that you can put on your phone. It's
Okay.
called MLS Touch. And what it does is it ties you in directly to the multiple listing service, which is the
Hmm.
database that realtors use.
Yes.
You will have real-time actual access to all of the actual listings that are out there with
Hmm.
no lag in status updates. Basically,
Awesome.
access to the same search tools that I have. It's actually the same app that I use when I'm out of the house. So I'll send you that. What is your cell phone number that I can send that link to?
It's area code 805 637
Okay.
0328.
Okay. Send that as soon as we're done here. And then lastly, is it going to be just you or you and your fiance buying the home together?
It's gonna be me right now since he's not working.
Just wanted to know who to collect information on for like docu-signing and that type of thing.
Oh yeah, that'd be me.
Okay. And the email address that I have for you is your best one?
That's
Okay,
the best one. Yeah.
perfect. Now I want to confirm the spelling of your name because it came through on your appointment as Ambar, but I had it from
Yeah.
Celeste as ER. So what is
Amber.
correct?
Yes. It's actually AR. It's just everybody since they've known me from growing up, they call me Amber.
Got it.
And I tried to hide my social network things from work all the time. So I put my Amber with an E on social media. So a lot of people don't even know how I really spell my name. And my work is Ambar. So it
Oh,
works.
all right, I got it. I just wanted to make sure I was addressing you appropriately when I
Oh,
send you.
yeah. You're fine.
So thank you for that. I think that's about it for now. Do you have anything else that you
No,
were
I think I'm good. You've answered.
anything at all?
I'm
And
sorry, you cut off?
you were expecting from me or questions that I didn't address or
Oh no,
anything
you're good.
you know
You
about?
answered all my questions. If I know, I'll shoot you an email if anything comes up. But other than that, I'm great.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy we connected. I'm looking
I
forward.
know, me too. Me too. I was happy when Celeste told me she knew somebody, and then especially that you're a female. I was like, yeah, I always like working with girls. I got my friend to sell my house. I had another female help me buy my house. I was like, I like girl realtors for some reason.
Well, I'm not super pushy. I'm not going to be like in your face all the time. But I do understand that just because of how quick everything's moving, you may hear from me more often than you want to. If
Oh, no,
if
that's
it's
fine.
getting overwhelming, just tell me. I can back off.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm never going to pressure you. I want you to find the best house, and if that takes a week, great. If it takes 3 months, great. If it takes a year, I'm with you the whole step of
I
the way.
hope not.
I hope not too, but just know that I'm not going to push you to do anything fast. It's just on your timeline, and I'm committed to that. 100%.
All right. Well, I
Okay.
appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you go and send you that information about the lender. And as soon as you are ready to go with all that pre-approval, we'll get started on shopping.
All right. Sounds
All
great.
right. Thanks, Amber. Have a great weekend.
You too.